order to create logic, we're gonna need to go back to the widget and select this 0 here. So if we go to the text, we just put 0 to take a look how it, how it all looks and stuff. But we actually have this bind function here, and that's what we need. Actually, the ability to bind properties of your widgets to functions or properties is one of the most useful aspects here. By binding a property to a function or property variable in your blueprint, anytime that function is called or property is updated, it will be reflected in the widget. So, how we do that? We're gonna go here, click bind, and create binding. And here it is. As you can see, we moved to the graph. So if you want to go back, just click here and you will come back to this canvas and your text. So go back to graph. Now we have this target, and we actually we don't need this connection. So you're gonna push Alt and then click here like this. So I'm gonna connect the variable that we have created. You can remember we have created this how many coins variable to this text. And first we need to cast to the character once again. So cast to BP character. For the object, we need to get player character. Okay. And now we're gonna get this variable. So we're gonna do like this and then get how many coins. Here it is. Just the way we did before. So we have this variable and we're gonna connect it like this. And of course, you can see that if you do like this, you will get this new node, which is converts this integer to this text value. Okay, don't forget to connect these two together, just like this. Save, compile, and let's go back to the game. Okay, so coins 0, coins 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. So let's, you know what? Let's add a few more coins. So to do that, let's select them all, copy, and then paste, and move them like this. Okay. Play. Now we have 8 coins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Haha! That is perfect. The only thing that we have left is this print string. You can see on the left side of the screen we still have these numbers and we don't need them anymore. So let's go back, and where we did that here. We still need this logic. We just need to get rid of this print string node. So I'm gonna do like this and like this, and I also don't need this one. So what we need to do, we need to connect it like this, because of course we want to destroy the coin after that. Save, compile, and let's see if we did everything right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and no text in the left side of the screen. Perfect, very good. So this is how you work with collectibles. This is how you create your logic for coins and other objects that your character can collect. So since we want to add platforms to our game, we need platforms, obviously. So I'm gonna use Sketchfab website for this one, and you can find a lot of different models on this website. The best thing is some of these models are free. just like this, just like this model. You can take this one. I'm going to show you the name. It's round platform, just to follow my steps. Or you can simply search for platform, check downloadable, and then take a look what they have. For example, this is the platform that I'm going to use. If you scroll down, you can find this download 3D model. Or you also can choose other models like this one. So when you click download, it shows you different formats, and this one, the first one, FBX, is what you want. Just click download, and we don't need the other formats. Also, if you're using something for your game, always make sure to check the licensing information. For example, in this case, we can use it for commercial use, but we need to credit the author of the model. And now let's go back to Unreal Engine. As you can see, I'm gonna use the project that we've created for coins tutorial. So basically, it's just a new level with a few coins on it. We don't need the coins for this class, but I just want to keep everything in one place. So that's why I'm gonna use this level and I'm gonna work here. But again, it's up to you. You can just create a new level and start working there. Now let's go ahead and import the round platform. So I'm going to content browser. We already have this coins folder here. Or if it's the new project that you created, you won't have any new folders and you're gonna create a new folder. I have created this folder objects, and I'm gonna create another folder inside it. This time it's gonna be platforms. Yeah, I'm gonna drag and drop my platform right here. When you download the file, it will be a zip file, which you need to unzip first, and then you can drag and drop this folder right here. So this is the window that will appear. Just click import all. This is okay. Just click clear. That is fine. So what we have the static mesh, which is the round platform model itself. We also have a texture and normal map. The other one is material. So depending on a model that you're using, you may get different kind of files. And since the files that you're going to be using are free, they're not always perfect. So sometimes a file that you download will not work for your project, which is fine because, you know, it's free content and you can't expect much. So if in any case you see that something is wrong, just change it to another model. But this one, this works pretty fine. So we won't talk about textures much in this lesson, but just to remind you or to guide you through this, we have texture and we have normal map. What normal map is, it's a texture with bumps and dents. So for example, if you want your model to have physical bumps, physical dents, if you want some parts of it to be higher than others, then normal map is what you need. Basically, all 3D models have normal maps. Okay, so we have imported it. Let's click Save All and Save Selected. Now let's go back to that screen. Before we go to this, beautiful round platform, I want to show you just basic things that you can do when prototyping your game. So as you know, you can quickly add something with this button, and we have shapes down here. So we have some basic shapes, and for example, we can take plane, and this plane is basically a platform. For example, that's okay. I'm gonna just put it a bit closer to the game starts and click play. So here it is. My character can jump on it. Yeah, so that's the platform. When you are prototyping, you might need to change the size of the platform. So you go to scale right here. I'm gonna click this lock to change all 3 axes at the same time. And for example, I'm gonna put something like this, and you can see now the platform is bigger. So click play again and take a look. Yeah, just like this. That's how you do it. You can copy and paste a few platforms and prototyping your game just like this. Oh, you can see that now they're too close to each other, so you might want to put them a bit apart. For example, like this. So that's why you might need these basic shapes for your game. But let's delete those platforms and create something beautiful, right? And to do that, what we need to do it through a blueprint. So let's click here, create new blueprint class. For platforms, we're going to use actor, because an actor is an object that can be placed or spawned in the world. That's what we need. So I'm gonna go to the blueprints folder and create a blueprint that with a name, basic platform. No spaces. Okay, I'm gonna drag and drop this tab right here. So you already know how it all works. This is the viewport. And we're gonna create the platform here. So first, let's add a static mesh, because that's what it is. It's static mesh. You see this brick picture here. So it's static mesh with some textures on it, or with materials on it, and maybe with some logic inside, or maybe without. It's up to you. So for now, the static mesh is empty, but it is still something actually. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the static mesh options here. In this list of all the meshes that we have in our project, I'm gonna find this round platform static mesh. You can see here we have static mesh. So yeah, that's how you can understand that you can use this for your static mesh. I can see it right here, but you also can search for it. Okay, so now this is inside. If you can't really see it, that's because it is small. The model that we have downloaded is very small, so I actually want to scale it up to 50. Yeah, just like this. Now it is good. So just to check, let's save compile. Go to the game screen, then open the content drawer and drag and drop this platform. So let's click play and just take a look if we like the size of the platform. Yeah, that's a good size. So let's go back to the blueprint. So now we just have the static mesh with nothing on it. It doesn't have any material, and you can see that for materials we have this one, polygon shader. It's not that we want for the platform, right? So let's open this up, and here we have material graph for the object. So what we have here, we have a few inputs, and we need to connect what we have here with these inputs. But we can connect materials like this. And if you go back to content browser, you can see that this one is material, although those are textures. What you can do, you can right click, create material. And now you have the material from this texture. And you can do the same for the normal map, create material. I'm not gonna change the names, but if you want, you can do that. Let's save. And now if you go back to your model and go to materials, you can actually search for this material, which is round, this one, but it's just texture. And let's add normal map. So we have this normal thing here. Let's find texture sample. Okay, and now for this texture sample, we're gonna select the texture here in this tab. So I'm going and find round normal texture. Okay, here it is. If you select this texture and go here, you can see the texture is already selected. So for new one, all you need to do is to apply the texture that you want to use to this texture sample. Okay, so let's save this one. Perfect. Let's go back and save this basic platform. And let's go back to the level. I'm gonna put this platform a bit higher. Let's check this out. Oop. Perfect. Very good. So what we can do, we can add, let me do like this. So what we can do, we can copy this platform a few times and paste it like this. And now click play. And that makes our platformer look more like a platformer. Oh. Yeah, I made them. That's too close. That's too close. So let me do like this. And like this. Okay. Play again. Yay! Very good. But just basic platforms are not enough, right? So what I want to do here, I want to create a platform that works like trampoline. So I'm gonna call it a jumping platform, but you understand the idea. I want the player to jump on it and the platform makes him jump again, like trampoline. Told ya. So let's do this. That involves some logic, right? And so to do that, we're gonna need another blueprint. We already have this basic platform blueprint. So what we can do, I'm gonna close this tab. We don't need this one. We're gonna go to the content drawer, find this blueprint and copy, paste, and rename it to jumping platform. All right, so let's open this up and close the basic platform. Since I'm happy with the look of the platform, I don't need to change anything here. So let's talk a bit about the logic of the jumping platform. What it does, it works like this. When the character steps on the platform makes him jump, right? But what does this mean? This means that this platform actually changes velocity of the character. And if you take a look here, or even here on the game screen, you can see that we have 3 axes, and this blue one, Z, this axis looks up. And this is the axis that we are using when programming jumps, right? You can remember that we've been using this axis when adjusting jump animation. So this will be the same thing. We're gonna use this axis and add some velocity. You remember that velocity means speed and direction. So it's like a vector. Now let's go back to the first part. The first part was when the character steps on the platform. And how can we check that? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to think. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is collision, of course. That's how we are checking if character is crossing an object, right? So for the static mesh, we're gonna add collision. But before we do that, you may ask, like, Kate, I can see that this platform already has a collision because my character actually can step on it. Right? Right. So that's why this collision that is inside the static mesh, it's another type of collision. And this collision goes with static mesh when you create it. Where you can see it? You can see it here in the details. So I'm gonna search for collision. Collision, collision, collision. Here, collision presets. For example, if you choose no collision, that means that character cannot stand on that platform. It's gonna be like nothing for him. But this is collision preset that we have. We can't use this collision preset in the logic. So in order to check if the character steps on the platform, we're gonna add another collision. Okay, so let's add a collision. You remember that we have several types of collisions: box, capsule, sphere. In this case, I'm going to use box collision. Oh, it is big. Okay, so I'm gonna change this box collision and go to scale and make this box collision smaller. Okay, now I'm gonna unlock this because I'm gonna need different numbers for each axis. So for the z-axis, I need something like, maybe like this. Like this. And then for this one, we're gonna make it bigger. And then for this one, you can change the view. You can hold Alt and change the view like this with your mouse. Let's try the same. Yeah, probably like this, because I think that this gray edge shouldn't work like trampoline. It's just the platform itself. Okay, all right, pretty good. So now we have this box collision. Let's save compile. Now we can create some logic from here. What you can do, you can right click on this box collision, add event, and let's choose an event. So what kind of event would work in this case? Of course, this one, on component begin overlap. Okay, here it is. We are now in the event graph tab. This event code when something starts to overlap this component. For example, a player walking into a trigger. That's exactly what we need. And now we need to connect this with the player. So we need to tell it like, hey, we want to check if player overlaps with this box. So with this output, we're gonna use cast to BP, and here we need to select this third-person character. This is not the first time we're using this node, and you already know that we use this cast node in order to check if that's the one that we need, right? In this case, like, is it the third-person character? Is it that one? And now for the other actor, we need to connect this object together like this. So now if it is the character, then we want him to jump, but we actually have a very good function for this. Let me show you. Launch character. Here you go. So let's read about it. It sets a pending launch velocity on the character. So we have target, which is not self actually. For target, we need the character, because self in this case means the box. Let's connect it like this. And now target is the character. And if you can take a look at this node, you can see that it has all three axes here. but we actually need only this one, right? So this is not the only node that has these three axes together. And if you need just one axis, what you need to do, you right click and then split. Voila. Now we can connect this input and use just Z velocity. But first, which node we're gonna need? So we're gonna need the character node, which is movement. Character movement. Get character movement. Here it is. So this node reads the value of variable character movement. And character movement is movement component used for movement logic in various movement modes, walking, falling, containing relevant settings and functions to control movement. We got it. In this movement, we need just one element, right? We need jump Z velocity. And guess what? If we type jump Z velocity, we will find this node. And this node actually reads the value of jump Z velocity. And jump Z velocity is initial velocity when jumping. Got it? Got it. And now we're gonna multiply this because we want the, we want the platform to like lift character, right? So let's put multiply. Multiply, very simple operation, just multiply. I'm gonna put 1.5 and then connect it to the Z axis, just like this. Let's save, compile, and go back to the game. So for now, we have this basic platforms. All three of them are basic, but I'm gonna go to the content drawer and find this jumping platform. Let's move it like this. Okay. Let's click play and check how it works. So we play, whoop. So it does work like a trampoline, but I think that's not enough. Maybe it's the, I'm gonna put it a bit higher. Check. Whoop. Yeah, good. Yeah. So probably for this one, I'm just gonna need it to be a bit higher. Or we can actually change this number here. Let's change it to 5. It's gonna be crazy, I think, but we are experimenting, right? So let's click play. Woohoo! Yeah, I told you, that will be crazy. But you get the idea. I go back to 1.5. That's totally fine. So save. Don't forget to save and compile. Otherwise, we won't see the changes. So for now, we have jumping platform and 3 basic platforms, which is cool. I would say that when you're creating your own game, it's probably a good idea to choose different models for different kinds of platforms, because right now they look the same and it's kind of confusing for a player. But for the purposes of this class, that's okay. If you think that that's it, no, that's not. I want to show you how you can do moving platforms. And I think moving platforms, it's very, very basic element of any platformer game because it gives you so much variety with level design. It's crazy. So let's do this. Again, I'm gonna go to, I can actually see that I didn't save this level, so I'm gonna click just in case. Don't forget to save from time to time. Okay, so let's go back to content drawer and find this 2 blueprint. Now we need another blueprint for the moving platform. We can create this moving platform from either of these blueprints, but since we already have collision box here, I will be using this one because we're gonna need the collision for this blueprint as well. So I'm gonna call it moving platform and double click to open. Perfect. So since we have copied the jumping platform, we still have all these nodes here, and I'm gonna delete those. Go back to viewport. I just realized that we actually don't need this collision box for the moving platform, but that's okay. That's okay, because probably in the future, if you need some kind of logic with this collision box, you will add it. So the logic behind this is simple. We want to see this platform moving when the game starts, first of all, right? So we want to see this movement going up and down, up and down. Let's go to the event graph. And we're going to use this event begin play node because we want this to start when the game starts. I'm just going to delete those. How can we manage the movement of the platform? Actually, if you remember, we have timelines here, and that's what we're going to use. So let's find timeline, add timeline. We can give it a name. Moving platform. And so now we can open this up and actually manage the movement. So let's add track, add vector track, give it a name, moving up and down. Okay, so now we have 3 axes once again, but actually we just need this z-axis. Why? Because z-axis means movement up and down, right? So I'm just gonna block these 2 axes. Let's save, compile. Sometimes when you click like this, you need to click the axes again. Okay, good. So make sure that only the z-axis is unlocked. Okay, now we have the length. It's up to you how long you want it. I'm gonna work with 3 seconds length. And this is very simple linear movement. So we just need 2 points. First is right here. You need to push shift and then click. And here you have your point. So time 0 and 0. This is just the start. Like from what point we start. We start from 0, 0. And then we're gonna add another. Actually, you can just click anywhere because we're gonna change it here. So the second point will be in the very end of the track. That means 3 seconds. And you can put any value that you want. I put 200. Okay, if you can't see it, let me show you. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. Okay, very good. Save, compile. So now let's go back to event graph. We need to define that this all happens with the platform. I still have the static mesh name here. I can actually rename it to round platform. Now what we need to do, through the update output, we're gonna put set relative location node. This is it. You can see round platform right here. It's the name of our static mesh that we have just renamed. Relative location sets the location of the component relative to its parent. And you can see that the target here is our round platform. Now, through this timeline, we have created this vector track, and we need to connect this one with this new location. Obvious. This is obvious. You can see yellow, yellow. So now this new location is defined by this timeline. Let's go further. So we're gonna add a delay node. Here it is. It is what it is. It's just a delay. We're gonna put duration 3 seconds. It should be the same duration that we have in the timeline here. And now let's just save this and take a look what we have. It's not finished yet, but let's just take a look. So I go to the content drawer, put my movement platform right here, click play, and let's take a look what's happening. So it is stuck. That's it. So it moved up to 200 points. And yeah, that's it. Let's take another look. Whoop, that's it. We don't want it to do like this, right? We want it to go up and down. So what we want to do, we actually want to check after this timeline is done, after the platform is on its high point, we want to check if it's up, and if it's up, then it should go down, right? And if it's not, then it should go up. Or we can like reverse this logic and check if it's at the bottom. So if the platform is at the bottom, then it should go up. If it's not at the bottom, then it should go down. And for this logic, we're gonna need a variable. So I'm gonna add a variable, call it bottom. And this is Boolean variable, meaning true or false. Now we're gonna save compile, then select this variable, go to details and find this default value. So by default, it is false, but at the very beginning of the game, this variable is true because at the very beginning, this platform is at the bottom right here. Okay, so if the platform is at the bottom, then we want this timeline to play, because this timeline moves our platform from 0 to 20. But if the platform is not at the bottom, meaning that it is at its highest point, then we want this movement to be reverse. Here we have this reverse input. So how to do that? I'm going to show you the branch node. Here it is. It's flow control. So it's very simple one. If condition is true, then it goes from the true, and it's false, then here. For the condition, we're going to get the variable and connect like this. And now, if it is false, like it is at the very beginning of the game, we're gonna set this variable to true. And if it's true, we're gonna set this variable to false. And now in this case, we're gonna play. And in this case, we're gonna reverse. Okay, let's save, compile. So the platform goes up and down, up and down. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are switching this variable from true to false and from false to true. And that switching allows us to manage the movement. We can either play, which means play the timeline from 0 to 200, or we do the reverse. So we go from 200 to 0. Okay, so let's click play again. Okay, so let's go to the game and click play, and let's see if we can jump on this platform. So I'm gonna move this platform a bit like this. Okay, click play. Yep, no more. Another try, another try. Come on, yeah. I think it's too high. Let's see if we can jump from this platform to this one. Yay, we can. Oh, very good. All right, perfect. We have created this level with coins and platforms. Also, we have Philip, which is our character. He can jump, he can run, walk. He's a nice guy. But what Philip can't do, he can't do double jump. You see, I push space, space, space. No, just one jump. And in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how you can add double jump for your character. And also, we're going to create some interesting logic for this double jump. So first of all, if you want your player to be able to do the double jump from the very beginning of your game, you can do it very simple. So I'm going to click, I'm going to escape this and then go to content drawer for the blueprint of our character. Where is the blueprint? Here. Blueprint. His blueprint. You remember this is the blueprint for the character. So here we have some character movement controllers, and if we go to details and type jump, you can see that we have a jump max count. And what it means how many jumps you can do. So let's, for example, put 2 here, save, compile, and go back to the level. So now, up, whoop, double jump. Although if I push spacebar 3 times, like if I want to do 3 jumps, it doesn't work. You only can do 2 jumps because of this number that we have put. So if you want 3, or I don't know why, but if you need something bigger than 2, then you can put it here and your player will be able to do double jump from the very beginning. I'm gonna go back to 1 and let's create something interesting for the double jump.